Tonight we are in the fifth I am statement in the book of John. And like I said, there are 7 of them. And so teenagers, Pulse, we learned the first 4. And number 1, the first statement was, I am the bread of life. And that was in John 6:35. Statement number 2 from Jesus, I am the light of the world. That's found in John 8:12. Statement number 3, John 10:7 says, Jesus says, I am the door. I am the door. And then statement number 4 we looked at last week was, I am the good shepherd. Also in John 10, verse 11 there. So church family, don't answer this question, but Pulse, you can answer. Who found the next statement and where is it at? Without looking at anything, I might go to Kalusha again for the second week in a row. Let me see. Kalusha, what is the answer? And where is it found? Awesome. Great job. Tell me where you want your second gift card to be for next Wednesday. Okay, so great job. Yep. I am the resurrection and the life. This fifth I am statement. And John 11:25. Let me read that for everyone here tonight. John 11:25. Jesus said unto her, I am the resurrection and the life. He that believeth in me, though he were dead, yet shall he live. And whosoever lives and believes in me shall never die. Believest thou this? Or do you believe this? And so Pulse with everything, right? Even church family here tonight. We're going to go through the context here in just a second. However, there are going to be 4 crucial facts about this fifth I am statement that we are going to learn. But for context's sake, let's kind of get the background of this, okay? So Jesus is no longer talking to the Pharisees, right? Like the first 4 I am statements was. He's talking to someone completely different, a completely different story, a completely different setup. He has moved on from the Pharisees, so it's completely different background now and a setting as well. He's talking to Martha. Now, not Martha and Magdalene. No. Just Martha, whose brother had just died. Now, real quick, does anybody know who Martha's brother was? This could be not just Pulse, but anybody. I'll open it up for anybody to answer. Who was Martha's brother? Lazarus, okay? And what happened to Lazarus? He died, okay? So that kind of sets the tone for where Jesus says here, I am the resurrection and the life, right? Jesus was away from his friend Lazarus. He was away from Martha. He was away from all of them, and yet it's 4 days have gone by. Martha has already told Jesus ahead of time, when he was going to pass away, Jesus, come quick, come near. My brother's going to die. Only you can save him. And yet he died. He is in the tomb, wrapped up in cloth, right? In the tomb there now. And it's been 4 days. Probably stinky, probably very dirty cloths by now that has been wrapped around him. And Jesus finally comes over to Martha and to Lazarus. Now, we might picture, in our perspective, Jesus, you are too late to the occasion. We sent you the invite ahead of time. We let you know when it was coming. We let you know that Lazarus was dying. We told you have time to come, and he's dead. You are late. How many of us in here tonight have thought that, Jesus, you are late to the party? I've thought that many times. I'm sure most of you have tonight as well in different circumstances or stories of our life, maybe with a job, maybe with direction for your life, maybe with finances, or maybe with a new friendship, or maybe breaking up with somebody for the youth group, whatever the case is, right? Maybe it's like, God, you are too late to the party. Now I've gone through all of this, and where are you now? And that's where we find Martha. Where were you, Jesus? Look at how I had to go through all of this. My brother's dead. You missed it. You're late. If you were here on time, you would have saved him. But Jesus says, no. I am the resurrection and the life. And so let's go over these 4 crucial facts tonight about this statement, this fifth I am statement. And yes, tonight's lesson is going to be quick. I normally stick to about 15, 20 minutes for the teens. So we'll go after this. The teens will all go do our own thing. Well, you guys finish up your own thing in here. But it will be short. So, Pastor, if you're watching, this is how I normally do things. Okay, you told me to do a youth group lesson, so I am obeying your orders for this tonight. Okay, so short lesson tonight, very quick but very powerful. Number one, the first crucial fact is Jesus has power over death. Jesus has power over death. So by calling himself the resurrection, Jesus claims divine authority over life and death. That's a very crucial fact to know about who Jesus is. Jesus is not just some teacher or prophet as the world describes him as, but Jesus is the source of eternal life. He's the source of it, right? Without him, there is no eternal life. We had, I do want to say thank you to all who prayed last night for our volleyball, pizza, and gospel night with the young adults. It was great, and man, it was awesome. We had about 20 here, and I shared the gospel. It's crystal clear as I could. Biblically, I answered 4 questions for them on what this generation is like. You know, what is sin? Is hell even real? Why is this so important? You know, and I brought up the devils even believe and tremble, because that's a very crucial fact to know as well. And then there's one more question I went over, but I forgot what that was right now off the top of my head. But anyway, Jesus is the source of eternal life, and I made that crystal clear for them last night, and that's exactly what he's saying here. And this is, as I told the youth group, this is pretty much the gospel before it becomes the gospel, right? This is all before Jesus dies and rises again. The second crucial fact is life is found in Jesus alone. Life is found in Jesus alone. Jesus does not say that he brings resurrection. No, he doesn't just bring it, but Jesus says that I am the resurrection and I am the life. So eternal life is not something separate from him, but it flows from being in relationship with him. And I'm going to repeat that because that's very, very important very crucial about knowing who Jesus is. And a lot of church people that are not saved, right, don't understand this fact. Eternal life is not something separate from Jesus, but it flows from being in relationship with him. So you don't have that without having Jesus. The third crucial fact is belief in Jesus conquers death. Belief in Jesus conquers death. Let's read this verse again to kind of understand exactly what this third crucial fact is here. I am the resurrection and the life. He that believeth in me, though he were dead, yet he shall live. So again, in our physical perspectives, human flesh, we may not understand exactly what that is. And I was explaining to the teenagers in the first 4 I am statements, the Pharisees don't understand what Jesus is saying because Jesus speaks in spiritually or spiritualness, whatever the word is there. But the Pharisees were thinking physically. So they weren't on the right length at all with what Jesus was. So they missed the whole point of what Jesus was trying to say. And we have to put our spiritual caps on, if you will, to understand this as well. Though he were dead, yet shall he live. Right? That makes 0 sense whatsoever to us. But this is what Jesus means because he is the resurrection. So physical death is not the end. And that's exactly what I was trying to explain to the young adults last night in the JFLC was, look, this is not the end of our life here. Our life does fade away, as Isaiah talks about. And this is not the end. Death here is not the end. But those who have trusted in Jesus will be raised to eternal life, just as Jesus did later. So if anything, this is a picture of Christ. And so the fourth and final crucial fact is resurrection is both present and future. So Jesus brings spiritual life now, but he also guarantees bodily resurrection later. And then, of course, that is if we all die in this room tonight before the rapture happens, obviously that's when we'll see them. Okay, if the rapture happens, we'll just be caught up in the air regularly. But if we die before that, then our bodies will be risen up as well. The Bible is very crystal clear about that. Okay, and so it just brings resurrection, both present and future. Eternal life begins the moment anyone believes in Jesus for salvation. So that's the lesson tonight. That is it. I do want to have an application though before all the Pulse gets up and goes to the JFLC for our game, and then we'll have prayer after that. But I do want to have some application here tonight. 3 application points, all right? In the seasons of grief or loss, the promise offers hope that death is not final. For saved people, okay? Obviously for unsaved people, there is a second death for them. But for us believers, which is why it's so important that we tell people that Jesus brings life and eternal life so they don't have that second death. But for us who are saved, death is not final, so we have that hope. Number 2, it calls everyone to place their faith and trust in Jesus alone for abundant life today as well as a future resurrection. And lastly, Jesus reminds us that resurrection is not only just an event, but it's also a person. And that person is Jesus, and only He brings that. No one else can. Just as I explained to the young adults last night, I said, Buddha is gone, Mary is gone for the Catholics, right? You can't talk to any of them. They are dead. They are still there. But the tomb is empty because Jesus rose from the dead that 3rd day. And there are more facts about Him. Throw the Bible out, right? There are more facts about Jesus being here without the Bible than there is any other person. And that's crazy to think about, but it's true. And the Bible backs everything up there as well. So